Hello guys, very welcome to the channel. Today I am very excited that we are joined by one of the trailblazers in the field of AI, Ravi Theja, who specializes in NLP, deep learning and recommender system. As a developer, advocate, engineer at LlamaIndex, Ravi not only fosters innovation but also champions community engagement. He is here with me to discuss his journey in AI and the development of Navarasa, which is one of my favorite models these days. And that is a groundbreaking model supporting 15 beautiful Indian languages, aiming to democratize AI across linguistic barriers. I have done a video on the Saranavasa model. I will drop the link to it in video's description too, and also to the Hugging Face page of Saranavasa. And you will also find the LinkedIn page of Ravi in the video's description. So let's delve into Ravi's insight and the story behind Saranavasa. Ravi, it's really a pleasure, man, to have you here today. Can we start by sharing what inspired you to dive into the world of AI and more specifically into natural language processing?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Fahad, for having me here. Really excited for this podcast and talking to you and your community. Yeah, my journey started. I think it's been 10 years almost. I started in back in 2015. I was getting into started my journey with Hadoop stuff back in those days, and then got into a project in NLP, and then got into masters where I worked on projects and thesis in NLP and computer vision. Eventually was in TCS research and Glance, where I worked on recommender systems, building large scale recommender systems, as well as deploying some GenAI applications to enhance the user experience of Glance product. And then I was doing open source stuff. There was some use case that was in my mind to connect large language models like GPT-3 to external documents, since there is a gap of real world knowledge to these LLMs at this point of time back in December 2022. And then I was thinking of how to connect this, and then I stumbled upon this GPT index. Back then it is LlamaIndex is back then GPT index, and so I started experimenting it. Worked with Jerry, who is the creator, over the time, and I was doing open source contributions and then building demos, and eventually I joined him with LlamaIndex. So this is my one part of the journey towards NLP or towards getting into LlamaIndex open source stuff. And then the other part is on the Navarasa models as Telugu LLM Labs, which I've been working with along with Ramsri to build a model. So initially we started with, okay, there are a lot of things coming in. Most of the work is getting done for Hindi language, which is one of the prominent language in India. But to Telugu is my mother tongue, and even my partner Maram Sri mother tongue. So we thought of building something for Telugu language as well. And then we initially expanded with Llama, extending Llama to model for Telugu language, and then tiny Llama models for Telugu language. And then we did some experimentation, but still the models are not at a stage where it's usable to some extent as well. And then yeah, Gemma popped up. The good thing with Gemma is the tokenizer. There is a lot of representation for Indian languages. Even the tokenization is not optimal, but still it is way good compared to Llama, where the Indic tokens are not even available. So because of this, okay, we first built Telugu Gamma fine-tuned model, and then the results were really impressive. We didn't even expect it to happen. And so we thought, okay, for Telugu it's working. Why not? Everyone is building one language, one model. Why not go for multiple languages and then see if it works or not? And then we expanded it to 9 languages. So that's when Navarasa 9 is Nava for Hindi. So we came with Navarasa name and 9 languages. We included 9 languages, released it to community. We got really good people started playing around with it, and then trying to see where it works and all. And then some people commented like we were not, some languages are really more representative in the real world. Why don't you include? And so we took on the stats. What are the different languages that are really popular and usable in real world in nature? So we uh, yeah came to 15 languages, and then
Awesome.
so at this point of time, we there is a lot of work going on by individuals, lot of contributors from the community on the individual languages. So out of 15 languages, Tamil, Kannada, and Hindi, these are some Malayalam, Odia, these are some languages where people are contributing. And there are other languages where the data sets are not available, and we translated them and cleaned them so that it will be proper usage for instruction fine tuning. And then we consolidate all these efforts from individual past contributions and our contributions, and then release this schema Navarasa 2.0, which is the model which you are talking about for 15
Yeah.
languages. And
Awesome.
then yeah, so this is what I've been doing. And yeah, and then my idea is with this kind of model, since a lot of Indian documents are in either in English or maybe in its own language, since this model has capability of understanding all these languages, so any document either in English, any other language, it should be able to give some answers based on context and the query. So that's when I was able to connect this with the LlamaIndex, where I'm working as an OSS framework, connecting language, English language documents with queries in native languages and provide answers. Yeah,
Nice. Great stuff. I have so many questions, but I will go step by step.
sure,
So
sure. Probably I have given a
you
lot of introduction. Sorry for that.
no, no,
Just
no,
trying.
please go on. This is, this is gold, really gold. And thanks for your insights, really. You work at LlamaIndex. Few months back, no one knew even what LlamaIndex is, which was GPT index, which you mentioned. But now everyone is talking about it. It is one of the, hotspot. You work there as a developer, advocate, engineer, I believe, and it must be very fascinating. How do you balance your technical expertise in LlamaIndex with your role, with your community engagement and developer support?
Uh, okay, you are asking about community engagement and technical stuff at
Yeah,
LlamaIndex,
so uh,
on the modeling stuff.
exactly. So sorry. So just to more clarify it, that first, how does your day-to-day role look like at a company, AI company like LlamaIndex? Because it can't be DevOps, it can't be cloud, it can't be coding. What exactly it looks like? I'm not asking exact one because it might be a trade secret, but at a high level, what does an AI engineer or developer advocate like you does at LlamaIndex?
Oh, cool. Good. Yeah. I mean, developer advocate engineer, I mean, on a higher level, people think it's more of a marketing or just publish stuff. But in general, the role which I took and the path I took is so there are a lot of things happening. Latest stuff happening with the like Claude A model has come, or maybe Mr. Large has come. OpenAI has released new model, and then you need to do some interesting experiments. Like interesting, I mean, there will be some pain points that the users always face. So the new models are these able to solve some of these pain points? How are they? Do some experiments and write blog posts around it, educate people on them. So this is one part of my job. And the second part is there are PRs issues on GitHub, and probably if I have some new features which I want to contribute, so I can get into the coding part of it. Maybe a new research paper has come, implement it in the library framework, and yeah, see how people can use it in their workflows. So this is the other part. And the third part is there are certain companies who are using LlamaIndex, help them out if they're stuck in obstacle, having any obstacle in their workflow. How can you design a solution for some problem if they are stuck, or else if some new company wants to onboard LlamaIndex and they're stuck at some point, help them out. And the next one is do workshops or talks in the community, and get obviously whenever you do workshops and talks, you get users as well, right? Who are interested or explore LlamaIndex framework. So once you get the users, have a follow-up calls and user discovery calls, and then see how can you help them. Yeah, this is my
Awesome.
end-to-end.
Got it. Very fast, very interesting, by the way. So you have a strong background in research, and you had the recognition at Calling 2020, and your master's thesis on natural language understanding using attention networks. How has your research influenced your approach to developing real-world AI solutions?
Okay, I think my thesis is actually on the dialogue system side. One part of the dialogue systems, I mean, whatever chatbots, ChatGPT, whatever we are building, there are
Yeah,
a lot of components in earlier paradigm. So at that time, there is NLU engine, NLP engine, intent selection engine, or dialogue management engine, lot of different components in developing a chatbot. I worked on one of the areas like the last part, NLU engine, or the designing the entire system in a different way. So at that time, yeah, the making chatbots was fascinating and all, but the core thing is, I mean, understanding those techniques in building some applications at glance. That's what made me understand is there is some product, and then I know the technical parts of building something. Either product manager or any user wants to, or any of the team members finds if these kind of feature comes in, it would be really grateful. Can A help in any way? So at
awesome.
that point of time, yeah, so you will realize, okay, these techniques can be, you might feel the technique is very simple to implement, but when you see in the product and the user sees in a different way, the experience is altogether a different one.
Awesome. Got it. So very curious to know about uh, the data set generation process behind the model like Navarasa, especially too. So let's suppose, and please pardon me if it is so simplistic question, but I get a lot of these on the channel, so I'm just echoing them out. Let's suppose there is a language, let's say Bengali, and we want to create a model in Bengali. So let's say we pick up Gamma model, the base model, or let's say instruction tuned model. We just pick the base model, and we
Mhm.
suppose that it already had a generic Bengali
Mhm.
tokens in it. Now
Mhm.
we want to fine tune, or we want to create a more Bengali model on top of it. How do you create a data set for that?
Yeah, so one way is to look for data sets available on Hugging Face, since it should be an instruction tuned format data sets. Uh, uh, you should look for someone, because Bengali is not my native language, right? Obviously, I can't find understand the Bengali. So look for the data set in on Hugging Face if anyone has created it. If people have not created it, that means it's a good void or the gap that you see. So it's your responsibility, or you can take it up and create Bengali SFT dataset, instruction dataset. See what are the English available dataset like Alpaca dataset or GP teacher datasets, which are good, and uh, you can use either Indic Trans to from AI for Bharat, or maybe Azure, or Google Translate API, where there are free credits available, and use those APIs and translate it to Bengali. But then you need to make sure that the data sets what you have taken in English should be adaptable to the Indian context. Let's say some of these in data sets have something like rewrite this phrase in this sentence into French, and the output will be in French or some other Europe language or some other language. But when you translate it to Bengali, it doesn't make sense, right? and there will be some samples like code samples. Write a code for some Python program, specific Python. Yeah, but translating this literally that to Bengali doesn't make sense, because for I in rain something, for also getting translated to Bengali doesn't make sense. So these are some
Yeah.
examples where we have cleaned ourselves. So when you are translating it, you need to go through the data set, some samples, and figure out what are some samples that should be filtered out.
Got it. Okay. And what data set format would you recommend for a beginner? Should it be Alpaca in the Alpaca format or any other?
Yeah, Alpaca should be a good one, and then GP Teacher. Yeah, these are two data
GPT,
set.
which one? Sorry, GPT?
GP Teacher, GPT Teacher.
GPT teacher. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. These are the two good ones. Okay. And would you recommend people using Unslot for the fine tuning or Axolotl? Which one?
Yes, I mean, you can always use any framework you want to explore with. I think both are uh, getting developed at your own at their own pace. So undoubtedly, I got fascinated with Onslaught because that reduction in training time. So there was lot. So there was, they said, mentioned a lot in reduction in training time, and then first when we fine tuned with for Telugu language, the creator himself has reposted it, and so we got in touch with him, and eventually whenever we find some issues, we are getting some help from him. And so, yeah, that feedback loop has come. So, and then we uh, stuck with, I mean, we fixed on Unslot, using Unslot for our fine tuning process.
Got it.
But,
It's awesome.
but, yeah, but yes, previously when we are doing for Llama to fine tuning, we use Axolotl. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. And as someone who is very involved in the AI community, how do you stay updated with the latest advancements and ensure your work remains on the cutting edge?
Oh, okay. It's mostly on the Twitter. Twitter is my main source of information on what's happening, and then LinkedIn as well. But I think most of the time it's Twitter. And then also, since I'm working at LlamaIndex, specifically on information retrieval or RAG, so my daily day starts with get up and then go to archive, search for RAG papers or any information retrieval papers or any other new papers that come, and then read through it. And probably once you read, if I find it interesting, I'll tweet about it so that people get a sense of what is the latest research happening in the field as well.
Awesome. So I'm sure that your whole life doesn't revolve just around AI. What are your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
Oh, in spare time, I spend my time with friends or weekends sometimes, and then I watch movies. Sometimes I go for a jog or run, and then sometimes I play table tennis.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Okay.
yeah, so these are some things I do, and sometimes uh, I like cooking, so just play in the kitchen with some things.
What is your most popular dish around the family?
For me, I like to cook ulvacharu biryani or pav bhaji.
Okay, that is cool. Biryani is the all-time favorite of everyone I know. Okay, so any advice you would like to give to the beginners or whoever is starting in this field? What should they do?
I think one thing what worked for me is the curiosity driven. I think curiosity is something either with AI or anything in your life, whatever you are picking up. If you are curious about something, go and explore it. That's something irrespective of field, you need to have it. And the other thing is find something which you get connected. Like for me, with Llama Index or with building these models, there is something I have a use case in mind, and uh, that's where it helped me to explore.
Awesome.
So if you have some use case in mind, find some solutions or tools, or maybe if you want to build some solutions for that problem, yeah, that makes you explore other things and reach somewhere.
Got you. Well, Ravi, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and honor talking with you. And we'll be, of course, doing more follow-ups with you in the future. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Fahad. Yeah, really had great conversation with you.
So.